Welcome to the Flooring Podcast with Mike Harris, the show where we cover new construction, restoration, and everything to do with flooring in commercial construction. Now here's your host, Mike Harris.
Welcome to the Flooring Podcast, all. I'm Mike Harris. We're here today, as usual, at Pod 617 Studios in lovely Westwood, Mass. Thanks to our producer, David Yaz, for all he does for us. If you want your own podcast, you can visit pod617.com. Today, very, very fortunate to have LeeAnn DiPietropolo with us today. LeeAnn?
Very good job with the name.
It's a tough name. I looked it up, and you have 6 vowels in your name.
I never knew until you told me that.
You have 6 vowels in your name, and the one question I wanted to ask you, we had a gentleman who you know very well, David Ruggieri on.
Yes.
And, David's family had old-school Italian names for men. Mm-hmm. And, the nicknames. There's, we talked a little bit about this, you and I, and women don't really have old-school Italian nicknames. I think that's a shame.
That's a miss, I think.
Yeah.
I really need an Italian old-school name now.
You do. What was it? Sharky, Brains, he was Ruggs?
Ruggs,
yeah.
Yes, I know. It's true. Everyone in my family, though, they don't go by whatever their name is. Like Charles, Cataldo is Charles, Vito is Jimmy, and so we've got that going on in my family.
How was Vito Jimmy?
I don't know how that happened.
Well, maybe by the end of the podcast,
I'll have a nickname.
Dave, see if you can come up with a nickname for her, all right?
Okay.
I'm on it. Thanks, Mike.
All right, Leanne. Leanne, you work for Spartan Sales.
Yes.
Spartan Sales is a distributor in the flooring industry. Spartan Sales, you used to work for a sales master for 17 years. You've been with Spartan for 2. Spartan Purchase Sales Master.
Correct.
Why don't you talk a little bit about Sales Master first, and then Spartan second, and exactly how that transition has happened.
Yeah, so I started right before I was with Sales Master. I was with a smaller distributor called Western Carpet. They were out of Brooklyn, New York. And I carried an AROC VCT.
That was the big line.
Yeah, that was the big line at the time. And Western Carpet lost the line to Sales Master.
Okay.
So Sales Master was kind of making the rounds, telling all the flooring contractors that they had AROC VCT. And then they were saying to Sales Master, we buy our AROC from Leanne. We buy our AROC from Leanne. So
that's great. That's great for you,
right? So Sales Master called me and they said we needed to see who Leanne is, and then from there they hired me, and I was there 17 years. Great family-owned company, 80 people, just in the Northeast. Wonderful.
Based out of New York?
Long Island.
Out of Long Island.
Out of Long Island. So it was a great place to be for all those years. And then Spartan purchased us a couple years ago, and it's been really amazing. I have to say, I was nervous. You hear so many stories about, companies being purchased and what can happen, all the negative things, and they're amazing. They're a great company. They're great people. Kevin Jablon is the owner of the company, and he's just a great mentor, and I'm happy to work for Spartan. Yeah, Spartan.
And they're a national company?
They are.
Where Sales Master was just regional.
Exactly.
And many of the people from Sales Master still with Spartan?
They are.
Okay.
They are.
And is the transition for you, what has changed for you as far as what you do for the Spartan?
Yeah, Spartan's a little more, or I should say a lot more, really driven with architects and designers and getting the product specified, whereas we were a little more driven on the contractor side and getting that discretionary work. So now we're, I'm doing both, which is nice. I still get to do a little bit of what I did at Sales Master, and now I'm kind of learning and incorporating the architect side. So we did that a little bit at Sales Master, but now it's at a totally new level. So it's fun to incorporate the two.
And most of the specification work is for finished flooring.
Yes, it is. It is.
For lines you typically have, represent exclusively, I would think, correct?
Yes, exactly.
What type of lines are those?
We have rubber. We have Roppe rubber, which is one of our largest lines. We have Ava, Capri, Eco Surfaces. We have some tile lines as well, some of our own tile lines.
Ceramic tile?
Ceramic tile, yeah. So that's something that's new to me that I've learned. We have some wood, so I'm learning it all now because we really run the gamut of every product, as well as MAPEI, Bostik, and the supply end of things as well.
Now, on the finished floors, typically what type of jobs do those finished floors that you specify go into?
really anything, you know, hospitals, colleges, high schools, you know, a lot of the larger commercial work, because it really is geared, as you know, towards the larger commercial jobs.
Because we, at Ardex, we kind of did it all. We, you know, needed to get the product specified. We had to push it through the distributor into the contractor, you know, teach the contractor how to install it and what have you. But the architectural piece was always an interesting piece because it was the start of a project, or the really early on, shouldn't even say start, it could be, you know, 2 years before a project is being, you know, hits the street, so to speak. So it's a lot longer process. Has that been difficult for you, spending more time with the architects?
Yeah, it has been a little bit of a learning curve for sure, but I'm really enjoying it. I like also that end of the business, and it's nice to follow a job all the way through. You probably know this as well. So you get to kind of start at the beginning and then work with a contractor and also bring them jobs, which is kind of fun to do as well and helpful for them. It really closes that circle. So I think that's been great. That's huge. Is, you know, when you're bringing information to your contractors that they might not have, that's a, you know, big feather in your cap. You know, yeah, exactly.
We love doing that, and that's you know, that's how you make relationships, which we'll talk about in a little bit. You're from Philadelphia?
Yes.
Dave, we won't hold that against her.
I know. Don't hold it against me.
Hey, man, I'm a Quaker. University of Pennsylvania. Spent 4 years there. So
okay,
sorry, Mike. I'm in.
See,
yep.
He's with me.
Pass the cheesesteaks.
Yeah. Right? So good. So good.
That's good. And you spent a lot of time in Jersey, and then moved when you were teenage years to Hopedale, Mass.
Yes, exactly.
Where you kind of lived and raised a family there?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I grew up in that Philadelphia area till I was about 17. My first sales job there was selling soft pretzels on the side of the road. My dad used to go to South Philly, get the pretzels, bring them to us. We used to have a shopping cart, and we would sell them, my sister, my brother, and I. And, you know, I think about that now. I'm like, that was kind of pretty dangerous. But, you know, we didn't have cell phones.
Back then it wasn't. Now it is, yeah.
We didn't have cell phones. They were just dropping us off. They'd be like, see you in a couple hours.
Those are the soft pretzels that come in almost like links.
Yes.
Right? And you have to break them up.
That's exactly it.
They're everywhere in Philly. They're quite good.
So good. So good.
Did you have mustard to go with it?
No, that was a miss. We should have. I could have. That was like an add-on to the sale, and I missed out.
Could have upsold right there. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd have to try it again.
Yep.
But yeah, spent, you know, until I was 17 there. My dad got transferred. I'm the oldest of 4 children, so we got transferred up to Massachusetts. And I give my parents a lot of credit now. I didn't realize then as a kid how hard it is to move a family to somewhere completely different and new, where you don't know anybody, and leave your family. And so it was great. So we moved up to Massachusetts, and we've been there ever since.
That's great. And you have children of your own?
Yes. I have 3 children, and then my husband has 3 as well. We are the Brady Bunch. I think you do too, right?
Well, that's what we have kind of in common. Yeah, same thing with me. I have 3 children, and then you know, married my current wife now, who has 3 children. So yes, it is the Brady Bunch, as you know. And when you marry into a family, it's, you know, you marry their family. So it's very interesting. It's great. It's you learn a lot. And you're developing new relationships with new family members. You know.
Absolutely.
And that's going well.
Yeah, it's great. It's an adventure, and I love it. I wouldn't have it any other way. It's really fun.
That's great. And your kids, what are they involved in?
So my oldest actually just got married in July, which is a wonderful woman. So nice. He works in IT.
You're a mother-in-law, huh?
I know, I'm a mother-in-law, but I'm so lucky. She's amazing. So I'm happy to be. So that's my oldest. He does IT for a school system, and then my middle guy, he also does IT at a school system. And my daughter works for an investment firm in Boston.
Nice.
They all went to state schools in Massachusetts. Great. Shout out to the state schools. You know, they all got their degrees there and their master's degrees there. Wow. And you know, so yeah. So I, you know, UMass, Lowell, Framingham. We like ran the gamut. Bridgewater. So yeah, it's fun.
In just talking with you, getting to know you a little bit, you had talked about your mentors who were your parents. Why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, both in sales. I really come from a sales family, which is really fun. I was actually thinking the other day, so we used to have a house in the Poconos, which was like our vacation home, kind of our family vacation home. We sold it a couple of years ago, but I had taken this picture, this was probably like 10 years ago, of the coffee table in the Poconos, and it was all sales books. It was like sales, leadership, coaching. So I was like, shouldn't it be like boating, fishing, hiking, like, this is our vacation home. So I just laughed because that was our life. My mom was a national vice president of sales for McGraw-Hill. My dad was a sales manager at AT&T. My aunt was the first saleswoman for Scott Forsman Publishing in the 70s. So it's really a family business.
Yeah.
And even now, if my parents are almost 80, if you went to their house on their coffee table, I guarantee you there is a coaching, a leadership, a sales book. I don't know who they're leading at 80, maybe the grandkids, which thank God they are.
Yeah.
But they're still doing it. So they really are. They're amazing people. And, everything I do, I'm so proud to be their daughter. They're just amazing people. They've been married almost 60 years. And
That's great for
nice.
them.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen that much anymore,
Exactly.
as we know. It didn't happen for either of us, but it happened for my parents too. They were able to stay married their whole life, which is a great thing. You mentioned McGraw-Hill, and McGraw-Hill, and maybe they still do, used to have the Dodge reports,
Yes,
which was,
yes.
Jobs, construction jobs coming out. And when I first started, they were on little index cards.
oh, my God.
We used to have stacks of these cards everywhere, and that's how we used to follow job sites, was through these little cards, and you'd have to pick up the phone and call an architect, call a GC, call an owner, and try to figure out what's going on with that job and where it is and where it sits. But that was McGraw-Hill. It probably still is with them. I'm not even sure.
I know. I think it might be.
Yeah.
I think it might be, yeah.
Now, you have an interesting philosophy on sales, which I really love. And you're writing a book called Soul-to-Soul Selling.
Yes.
Which, again, I think we have some very good commonality there. Why don't you talk about this book and how it came about and, what are you doing with it?
Yeah, so I've been working on it for about a year. It is called Soul-to-Soul Selling, How to Not Sell Anything. So a little tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah.
But I really feel like my philosophy and what I kind of learned from my parents growing up is really it's about relationships, and it's about the people you know. And if I don't have the product, I would rather give them the right product. I'd rather say, call Mike at Ardex. He has the perfect solution for you. And really keep that relationship and trust and friendship. I know about the flooring part if they need it, but I'd rather hear about your kids and what you did on the weekend and where you're traveling and all the things that I think every person you meet is really interesting, and you can learn something from everyone. So that's how I choose to sell. Might not work for everybody, but that's kind of my philosophies. And the book is kind of the stories that I've encountered along the way in my 25 years of doing it.
That's awesome, because typically that's the way I've always sold, is, again, relationships. Obviously you got to bring value to the sale,
right.
But people buy from people they like.
Exactly.
I always said, if I don't want to go out for a beer with you, then I'm really not interested in you.
100%.
And it's a great way of getting to know people. It's a great way of selling. And like you say, if you spend all day talking to your friends, you're not really working that hard.
Exactly.
It's a great thing. When's the book coming out? I'd like to get a copy.
I know. I'm thinking it'll probably be another 6 months. I'm getting there, but I will let you know as soon as it happens. So.
Well, take your time.
Yes.
Make sure it's
got to be right.
good.
Yes.
Hopefully you'll have a little blimp on the podcast in there.
That would be perfect. Yes, I love it.
That's great. Now, also too, which I loved hearing about, was your 501c charity called Santa's Porch.
Yes.
Why don't you talk a little bit about that too?
Yeah, so I've been doing that for about 10 years. It started when my sister and our two friends, we were volunteering at our local food bank.
Yep.
And it was around the holidays, and we were assigned to the toy room. So the customers would come in, get their food, and then they'd come get their toys. And we ran out of toys after like 5 people. There just wasn't enough. So we went home. We're like, we have to buy toys. We told our friends. We told our family. And everybody was amazing. And so then the next year we said, let's do it again. So we've grown every year. And it's not something I would ever solicit to my flooring people. I would never want them to think that they would have to donate. But so many of my flooring people have been amazing contributors and giving toys. And last year we helped over 1,000 children have a Christmas and have toys under the tree that might not have. So it's really fun, and we get more back. Just as much as we give, we get back.
Yeah, that's awesome. And how long have you been doing that, you said?
10 years.
10 years, and you got a little bit of national press out of it too, right?
We did. We were on live with Kelly and Ryan a couple years ago, so that was kind of fun. Yeah.
And where was that, New York City?
Yes.
Did you guys get to go down there and spend a couple of days and do that whole thing?
Yeah, it was really fun.
What year was that?
It was after COVID, so I would say
a couple
I think
years
it was
ago.
2 or 3 years ago we did that. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's really that's heartwarming. I mean, Christmas time and gifts and kids for kids that don't have that, like you say, you're getting more out of it than probably the children are. Really,
absolutely. Like when you see the faces of the families, and sometimes they'll bring the kids. There's nothing like that when they get so excited. It is truly amazing. And the nice thing also is that it's during the holidays, so it's like, we do some things during the year, maybe get some grants and things, but it's really concentrated in a small amount of time.
Right.
So you work hard for those like 6 weeks to make sure you have everything, and then you can kind of get a break from it. So it's nice in that sense too, because we can really give our all for a short amount of time. So it works out nicely.
Yeah, no, I bet it's like anything like that. It's just a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of effort.
Exactly.
And you're probably doing a lot of trying to get volunteers and
always
always looking for help, which is great.
Yeah, definitely.
You get involved in the flooring community with that at all, or?
Oh yeah, they've been amazingly supportive. So many people have donated. I mean, probably most of them know about Santa's Porch, and like I said, I never would. They just hear about it and they want to help, so it's amazing.
No, that's great to hear. And you're also is it considered you're on the board at NEFCA? No, you're what is your role in NEFCA?
Yeah, I think it is considered, yes.
So you're the vendor partner on the board of NEFCA. Why don't you talk a little bit about NEFCA and what NEFCA is? We've had Dave, and who else have we had on NEFCA here so far?
I don't recall.
Yeah.
No, not you, Dave. David Jerry is the president of NEFCA, and we get Jared coming on. Why don't you talk?
Yeah, Jared is also on the board as well.
Jared's on the board. Why don't you talk a little bit about NEFCA and what your role there is?
Yeah, so it's
what you benefited from.
Yeah, for sure. So it's the Northeast Flooring Contractors Association. It's for the union flooring contractors. So they do a lot with like collective bargaining. They do scholarships, things like that. And it's a lot of the owners of the union flooring contractors in the Boston, and obviously Dave's in Rhode Island and Connecticut. The Higgins are also part of it as well. And I have learned so much seeing that side, seeing the owner side of it.
Right.
That's just something I never knew. I only knew it from my one vantage point, being the vendor. So it's really grown my expertise and, everything that they have to deal with, from insurance to workman's comp to all these different things that the owners have to deal with. But it's been a great organization. We're just kind of getting up and going. I think you attended our first meeting, which was great. And then we're going to have another one in October, which is the vendor showcase. So you kind of get to show all your different things. So.
Mike, if you like, we've got some footage here of
Oh my gosh.
Collecting hundreds of presents for children in need. Please welcome LeeAnn and Laurie. Hi, guys. Welcome.
Hi, thank you for having us.
Tell us about the appropriately named Santa's Porch.
Right? So we're in the porch. So basically about 7 years ago, there's actually 4 of us that started Santa's Porch.
You look fantastic.
Our friends Meg and Tracy have actually volunteered at the Milford Food Pantry for over 20 years. So about 7 years ago, we joined them at the food pantry, and they put us in the toy room. And we realized pretty quickly that we were going to run out of toys, and it kind of broke our heart.
So this morning, our partner, NetSpend, we're giving you with them $5,000 over to Santa's Porch to continue making special holiday dreams come true for even more children. So keep it up, Santa's Porch. Congratulations.
Were you really surprised?
Yes.
You didn't know that they were going to do that?
I thought they would give us something, because I feel like they usually do, but I didn't. $5,000 is a lot of money, so that was amazing. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Nice work, Dave.
Good work.
Gee whiz, thanks. This episode of the Flooring Podcast is sponsored by Laticrete, a global leader in construction solutions. From tile setting materials to concrete floor prep, patching, leveling, and waterproofing. If you're building it, fixing it, or trying to make it actually last, Laticrete's got you covered. For more information, contact Peter McKeon at pfmckeon@laticrete.com. That's PFMCKEON at LATICRETE.com. Laticrete, proven on the job site, trusted around the world.
Getting back to NEFCA, one of the things that I learned in the union field, one is that, you have 100, you have 150, you have 50 men out every day. Mm-hmm. That bill every day for labor is incredible.
You're so right.
And it's just, how do they manage that type of money? They're not getting paid till a certain amount of time in the job. So the techniques and, the banking and what they had to do to manage that, and that's just the guys in the field. That's not all the support people, the 25 people they have supporting in the warehouse, in the offices, the salespeople. In the union world, it's there's a lot of parts and pieces going on, and when we were selling products to that arena, we would always push the fact of quality and speed, because you don't want anything to happen, go wrong. You wanted things to go down fast. You wanted to be able to put a floor down faster. And at one point, and you've been away for a while, we used to say, well, it's, cost your man $1.65 a minute. And if he goes out and has a cigarette, it's costing you $25. So all those little things are added in. And the other thing I always kind of blew me away was, okay, they're working on a 25, 35, 45-foot, skyscraper. Sometimes it's a half an hour to get down that elevator. So that all that has to be figured in. So, yeah,
that's true. I actually never thought about the elevator.
I bet it's a really big learning experience. Being involved in them, and I really loved working with the unions because of the fact that of what they do. They train. They train a lot. Safety is critical.
Absolutely.
They want everybody to go home safe. Equipment is the best equipment. So it's a really good scenario, so to speak, in that arena.
Yeah, payments too, because how they have to pay the vendor in 30 days, and sometimes they're not getting paid from these GCs. So that's another piece of it when you talk about, all the people you have to pay, you have to manage that. That's a lot.
They're a bank.
Yes. Yes.
Now, right now you live in Westerly, Rhode Island. How long have you been down there?
8 years.
You've been down there 8 years. Down on the ocean, near the ocean?
Yes. Yeah, about 3 miles away.
Wow, that must be awesome.
It's nice. It's really
and
nice.
I'm hoping I'm going to get an invite to Taylor and Travis's wedding.
Me too.
What's the story there? Are they bringing some good press to Westerly?
They definitely are. I feel like they're putting us on the map. I mean, I always say I'm on the other side of the tracks, like the bad sides right now. But it's fun having them down there, and they're right next to the Ocean House Hotel. So I don't know if you've been to that area.
I only know Westerly from cutting through going to Connecticut.
Yes. Yeah. All right. Well, you got to come visit us because there's a lot of great things. Yeah. And we're right next to Mystic, Connecticut. So
I love Mystic.
Yeah. There's fun things to do in Mystic. You can get to the casinos. They're just a few miles away. So I feel like Westerly's a nice little spot, and Taylor's definitely put us on the map.
Taylor has put you guys.
I'm gonna get an invite somehow.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, that's great to hear. Now we're coming up to our Wednesday's question.
Before we get there, Mike, do you want to hear the proposed nicknames for Leanne?
Is the audience calling in?
Yeah, they are.
Okay,
the phone lines are lighting up. We have 3 decent ones so far. The Salty Pretzel.
Oh.
Liberty Leanne. That's a nod to the Liberty Bell in Philly. Or simply Philly Soul, which is a reference to Philadelphia, but also to your upcoming book, Philly Soul.
I think I like Philly Soul.
Philly Soul.
Oh, yeah. That's nice and soft and romantic almost,
I like it.
And we are ready for Wednesday's question.
You want answers? You want answers. You came to the right place. It's time for Wednesday's question on the Flooring Podcast.
All right, Leanne. Wednesday's question. And again, we just try to bring a little bit of content to our podcast here. You are a woman in a male-dominated industry. That's going to have some ups and downs. How do you manage that? In a daily basis. Talk about the pros and cons of that.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think the good part is I'm probably not going to get kicked out. like, as a woman, if I go in somewhere, I feel like everyone's always been respectful to me. They'll listen to what I have to say.
Yeah.
So I feel like that is a little bit of a benefit because some of my men colleagues I hear, kind of get, it can be a little bit harder maybe with a man. But I also feel like on the technical side, like some of the work that you do, if I'm talking about the Bostik or MAPEI, like I feel like I have to know 4 times what a man would know, because as a woman, I just think technically I want them to know that I know what I'm talking about.
Sure.
So I think there's good and bad with it, but mostly I feel like it's been great. It's fun being in this industry.
Is there many? I mean, there's obviously some women, but it's really a male dominated industry. I don't know if there's many women-owned businesses out there that you are familiar with.
There are a few, but not many.
Yeah.
Higgins, that I mentioned earlier, that down in Connecticut, that is woman-owned, and there's a few, but not many.
That's right. Kathy Cloud
yes, exactly.
been in that business for her family her whole life. Correct. What advice would you have for other women thinking about getting involved?
It really is a great industry, and I think don't be discouraged thinking that maybe it's flooring or the floor prep or things like that. It's
not boring. It's sexy, actually.
It is. You wouldn't know it, but it is. Dave's learning. Dave's learning.
Dave is learning. That's right. Well, that's great. That's great advice, and maybe. Hopefully we'll put your email up there, and if any women want to get your information, obviously they can contact you directly for that.
Definitely.
Because in every industry, and this is one of them, it's I just retired. It's a lot of the industry is getting older, from the installers all the way up. And they need young blood, whether it's male or female, and they need some young people coming into the industry, and the flooring industry is. It's always going to be there. We're always, I'm assuming, going to walk on floors. Who knows? And they're always a changing. The other thing I wanted to ask you was about you've kind of morphed more into the architectural side of things with your finished flooring, and I was doing everything underneath the finished flooring. My job was to make you look good, make your finished flooring look good, and I think we were able to do that. But how do you see that changing? How has it changed? Is there anything new coming up in the future here? Chemicals have changed, chemistry has changed. VAT is probably before your time. Vinyl asbestos tile has changed to vinyl composition tile. What is the makeup of flooring these days?
Yeah, I feel like on the architect and design side, I've really learned a lot more about the PVC-free flooring, which for me in the past always scared me because, that was something that years ago that it wasn't done well. The idea was great, but what is it going to stick to the floor,
Yeah.
So as I've learned more on that side and the importance that the architects and designers place on the environment, it's learning more about those products and how they've changed and how they've improved, and that you can, put them really in any environment now versus.
I would think PVC is not green, correct?
Correct. Yes.
So they
really want things that don't have the PVC in them.
And PVC was a big component of a lot of flooring.
A lot of like the LVTs, which kind of took over the flooring market, it was all PVC. All PVC. So on the architect side, they really, at least in the Boston market, it might be different in the other parts of the country, but in the Boston market, they really want to change that and do things that are good for the environment.
And you don't get involved in rugs or any kind of surface like that, and you said most of your surfaces are hard surfaces.
Most of my surfaces are hard surfaces.
And you said you do get involved in tile.
Yes.
And that's new to you.
It is.
How has that been going, and what do you think about tile?
It's going great. I feel like I've actually learned a lot from my contractors, because they know it's new for me too, so they've been teaching me as well. And we have our own lines. The pricing's great; it's in stock. So I feel like we're just starting to get going with the tile, but it's been a fun thing to learn.
Yeah. And how do you see 2026 has the year started. The first quarter's almost over. The year goes by so fast.
Doesn't it?
I mean, for me now, I'm just thinking of my age and in retirement going by fast. But back in the day, it was like, oh my God, the year's half over. We just started. How's our numbers doing? Oh, we're up. Oh, we're down. Oh my God, we got to catch up. How is business in the Boston market right now?
It's been great.
Yeah.
It's been great. I mean, there's definitely some little periods of ups and downs, but there's so many great projects coming up in the future. The multifamily is still going well. Healthcare is obviously a big, big market. So I see good things coming in the future.
That's great. That's good to hear. Well, we're starting to wind down. One thing I wanted to mention, you said you had a son that was 6'7". Yes. That is 6'7".
He is. He's 6'7".
That's,
I know.
And was he? He must have been a hoop player in high school.
He was a basketball player. Yes.
Yeah,
it was really fun to watch him. I always say he gets his height from me. 5'2". No.
That's really funny. And your daughter played lacrosse at Bridgewater.
She did. Yeah. She played in college, and then because of COVID, she was allowed to play a little bit longer.
Okay.
So she got her master's and was able to play. So it was fun. But those are cold days. I don't miss the cold for lacrosse.
I don't want to mention this, but tomorrow I'm going to my grandson's game at Curry, and it's going to be 38 degrees.
Yeah.
It's like, why isn't lacrosse in the spring?
Exactly.
Have a little sun on us, and it's just playing outside in the wintertime doesn't make sense to me. But
I know. I remember them pushing the snow, like before the games. They'd be like, have the snow plow up there. I was like, what sense does this make?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. All right. Now we're coming up to our famous 3 questions. Here we go.
We got important business before you go. It's Mike's famous 3 questions to finish the show.
All right, Leanne, you ready?
Ready.
These are tough ones.
Okay.
Okay.
What do we got?
One's always the same, and the other 2 are always different. Okay. What's your favorite ice cream?
Mint chocolate chip.
Mint chocolate chip. Dave, that's a new one.
I know. Dave, is anything?
It is. We're going to put it on the board.
Put it on the screen. Yeah.
I think, it might be a cousin of cookies and cream, but mint chocolate chip is its own thing.
Yeah.
So presently, cookies and cream still is dominating the standings here with 4 in first place, followed by just 1 for Rocky Road, Rum Raisin, Blueberry Pie, Praline and Cream Coffee, and Mint Chocolate Chip. But, Mint Chocolate Chip, that's one to keep an eye on. It's I think it's a favorite in New England, and so
I actually like Mint Chocolate Chip and get it, often. It's not my favorite, but, and sometimes it's just like, I love Mint Chocolate Chip.
Right? It's a good one.
Next one. Ocean, pool, or lake?
Oh, this is a hard one. I would probably pick ocean.
You live by the ocean now. Yeah.
I do. So I got to go ocean. But any of those, water, pretty great.
Ocean is definitely my favorite.
Go-to,
Getting in the ocean is therapeutic for me, even when it's icy cold. It's almost like a drug.
Yes, for sure.
And I've actually ventured into this cold plunging now.
Do you do that?
I do. Yeah, and it's the only thing I've ever done for myself that I can remember. This pill comes out, it's going to change your world, and you take it for 3 months, and nothing happens except you waste all this money and you pee it all out. The cold plunge, you get in for 3 minutes, and it's like euphoric. You get this high for like 3 hours. It's really good.
All right, I would like to try that. I really would.
I would recommend it.
Yeah, I am going to.
All right, and the third question is, what's your favorite place to travel to?
My favorite place to travel would definitely be St. John's in the Virgin Islands.
Okay, I was going to say not St. John's, New Brunswick in Nova Scotia.
No,
okay.
I heard that's nice too, but I like a little
My mother's from Nova
climate.
Scotia, that's why I brought it up. Okay.
Yeah. So the great thing about St. John, have you been to?
I've been to St. Thomas, and I don't think I've been to St. John's, but my actually sister and her family go there a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the great thing is, it's I think like 3/4 of the island is national park. In the 50s, I think it was one of the Rockefellers bought all the land there and then donated it.
Wow.
Check the. This is based on the information I know. It might not entirely be true, but I know it is a lot of national park. So you just go there and it's just like pristine. It's like hasn't been touched. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's really a special place. Trunk Bay, if you haven't been, is the most beautiful beach I've ever been to.
Do you
Trunk
go
Bay,
there
St. John.
often, or?
I mean, I've been there maybe 4 times.
Okay, well,
so that's a lot,
often,
right?
yeah.
I would go, all the time. It's just a beautiful
and
place.
plus the fact you live, a couple of miles from the ocean in
Exactly.
Westerly,
Yeah.
that's pretty good also too.
Yes, it really is. I'm lucky.
Well, Leanne, I want to thank you for coming on the podcast. Like I said, it's been fun getting to know you. I really didn't know you that well, but you came highly recommended by 3 or 4 people that said, Leanne would be a great podcast person, and I'm really glad I took them up on it. I'm really glad you took me up on it, and appreciate you coming on. I think people are going to love your story, and if somebody wants to get a hold of you, especially some nice young woman trying to get involved in this business, how would they do
Definitely.
that?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here. And my email is L and then my last name.
Oh, that's a tough
I
one.
know. LDIPIETROPOLO at SpartanSurfaces.com.
There's 6 vowels there,
6 vowels.
6 vowels.
Now I know.
Yeah.
Maybe we can work on Philly Soul at SpartanServices.com.
Yes.
Oh, that'd
yes,
be
there
much
you
better.
go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Very good.
Maybe in the future.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Leanne, thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
This
Thanks
was
for
fun.
having me.
I
So
appreciate
fun.
it.
So fun.
Thanks so much for joining us on the show today, everybody. The Flooring Podcast comes out every other week. Just continue to watch the feed for the upcoming episodes. You can find the Flooring Podcast on YouTube. You can also find it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you find your pods. Thanks again for listening to the Flooring Podcast.